Welcome along to another video. I am That Cycling Chimp, and in this one my route is going to be a round trip just shy of 70 kilometres on a place known as Scotland in miniature. I've came from the wild west coast of the mainland across the seven seas, well, the Firth of Clyde on a ferry, to the Isle of Arran, and I'm inviting you guys to keep me company in this solo adventure, which is probably going to be one of my hardest challenges to date. So if you're interested in how I got on today, or maybe you're new to the channel and you would like to see Scotland by bike, you've came to the right place. So stick around, grab yourself a cuppa, kick back and relax. Let's get the show on the road. Today's adventure, I'm going to be starting and finishing off in the village of Brodick, where the port is. I plan to cycle the north of the island, and I'm going to take in two climbs today. The first of which is going to be the String, and the second is going to be the Boguille hill. So we're going to go from Brodick, head towards the String, over the middle of the island, to Blackwater Foot, then we're going to head north to Catacol, Lochranza, before turning back and doing Boguille hill, and then back into Brodick. I'm really looking forward to this route today, and it's the first island adventure of 2025, so let's see how we go on. So there's no rest for the wicked today. I'm not even a mile outside of Brodick and I'm going to start doing the String. Now the String is aptly named because it's a very narrow road that cuts the island in two. And this is the reason why Arran's called Scotland in miniature, because the String actually is parallel with the Highland fault line. Now, for those of you that don't know what the Highland fault line is, this is what splits Scotland in two. Obviously, Highland, anything above it is the Highlands and anything below it is the Lowlands. And this is why Arran's called Scotland in miniature. And I'm going to be doing the north side today, so hopefully getting to see a lot of hills. This is hill 1 of 5, but it's 1 of 2 of the most challenging hills that I've done to date. So I've got 10 miles to get to Blackwater Foot. Let's see how we get on. Whew. I'm only halfway up the first ascent, and I'm regretting having my full Scottish breakfast this morning at the hotel. Oh. We're averaging an 8% gradient, but I can see the road and it looks steep as heck. It's all good training for my sportive in May when I'm going to be doing the Applecross Peninsula or Bellachnabath. But yeah, this is definitely showing me what real cycling is. Whew. I've just had to stop for a little second to catch my breath back. The first thing I noticed before I left the hotel this morning, I forgot my heart rate monitor. So I'm really just cycling with the feel of the body or using the force. Not only that, the conditions this morning, they're quite clear down in Brodick, but when you start coming up the hills, it's getting a little bit foggy, so I had to put my light on my bike just to make sure that I can be seen. But yeah, this hill's going to definitely show me who's boss this morning. Oh my God, it's absolutely kicking my ass. I've only got 250 metres to go to get to the top, but I had to stop. I'm in a 12% gradient. I'm in the highest gear I can go in. But it's brutal. But at least I know where my training needs to go. I need to start focusing on hills, climbs, ascents, whatever you want to call them. But oh, I was not ready for this morning. If it was a clear day, that view would be absolutely spectacular. Onwards and upwards. Whew. That's the first hill of 5 done. 25 minutes, 3 kilometres. I think that averaged out about 12% gradient, but it was like 15. I was all over the place. Just like my legs and my lungs just now. Definitely the biggest regret this morning is having that full Scottish breakfast. It's just sitting at the top of my stomach. And obviously, my body's still trying to digest it while pumping blood to other places in my body. But I can see the coast from here, although it is a bit misty, and down at Blackwater Foot, so a little bit of a strong westerly coming in as well. That's going to come into my favour going up the island. And it's in my favour just now because I'm pretty warm, so it's going to cool me down. It's definitely a bucket list climb I've been wanting to do for a wee while. What goes up must come down. Woo! Let's get some recovery going. Oh my word, what a descent that was. If my mother knew the speed I was going down that, I would not be allowed out my bike. Welcome to the big lights of Blackwater Foot in Arran. It's the largest dwelling village in the west side of the island, and apparently I have to go slow because there's red squirrels round about. Don't think we'll see any, but I'm going to have a little rest here just to stretch the back out and get the lungs back. Now, one of the things I'm looking forward to, we've got a westerly wind coming, and hopefully this wind's going to push me up the island. Because when I was coming down the string, I did feel as if the wind was quite strong against my face. So the headwind was slowing me down a little bit. Not to say that I wasn't quick getting down here. Google Maps said it was going to take about 1 hour and 10 minutes in the bike, but it only took me 50 minutes. So I've shaved 20 minutes off my journey already. But it is a lovely little village, this Blackwater Foot. And I'm pretty sure in the summer months it's very busy. Right, that's the rest over. let's get clipped in and start moving north. As always, if you want to try this route out, I'll put the commute link in the description below so you can try it for yourself. And for anyone that would like to know what the services are in Blackwater Foot, I think there is a toilet, there's a little roll shop, and when you cross the Blackwater Foot Harbour Bridge, you have got the harbour shop. Just in case you need to stock up on all those things for your cycling adventure. It looks as if it's starting to clear up a little bit, so hopefully by the time we go up to Loch Ranza, the weather might be a little better. Although looking out towards the Kintyre Peninsula, it doesn't look that good, does it? Here comes my second ascent of the day. Not the big one yet, just a hill nonetheless. 17 miles to Loch Ranza. Let's do this. That's the second ascent done. A very short and easy one. Much better as these. I had to turn back there. I noticed something. I thought somebody was sitting watching me. I wonder if that's Bonnie Prince Charlie's cell. Oh dear. It's quirky things like that that make me laugh. Really brightens your day, especially when somebody's got a dark sense of humour like that. 5 kilometres to go to the next turn off. And it looks as if that cloud's rolling in. Now, I was wondering when I was going to see some of these on the island, and I can't get down to them because it's on someone's land, but there's 2 tractors. That's not what I'm looking at. I've seen some hairy coos. It's very rare to see any Highland cows on the southwest coast, although technically I'm above the Highland fault line, so I'm in the Highlands. Oh, I didn't think I'd see any of them today. Hopefully I get to see some more up close and personal. It's the third climb of the day, which is a pitiful 953 metres, and it's only a 2% gradient. Oh sorry, 3%. We'll just get this out of the road and blast it. Well, that's the third climb smashed. And it was a little bit like Berlin, it took my breath away. One of the things I have noticed over here is the roads are quite potholey, so you need to watch. I'm glad I'm on the gravel bike today. I spoke too soon. I turned that corner and the guys are relaying all this smooth tarmac. It's an absolute dream. Now I did say I would stop if I seen one, and I have. I want everybody to say, oh, because we've got a baby hairy cow. Hello there. What are you saying, eh? Oh, that's gonna be lucky, eh? What are you saying? What are you saying, eh? What are you saying? You're lovely, yes. They're just absolutely majestical creatures when you look at them. And I take it, that'll be Mummy and Daddy just standing down there watching. They're a cracking wee thing, aye. And you're no fear anyway, are you? Aye. Anyway, I need to go, pal. I'll see you later, okay? And that's us just about to hit the fourth cliff. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh dear, I'll see you guys at the top. I didn't know what to do there, I just had to attack that. Absolutely crazy. But when you get to the top of that hill, look at the exotic birds. You've got peacocks there. And I don't know whether these are peacocks or they're baby pheasants. Let me know in the comments below if you know. It's quite camouflaged. I think that's a pheasant. Oh, well, that hill got me. I was riding flat for quite some time and I thought it was getting a bit monotonous, then all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. So that's the fourth climb of the day completed. I've got one more to do. Still got a little bit to go before I start it. And I think this one's going to be the leg buster today, the Boguille. Not to be confused with the Boguille, which is Boguille etif more. And yeah, that's not what I'm going to cycle anytime soon. Onward to the village of Catacol, where I'll take my next wee stop. Well, that's me over the halfway mark. I'm actually at 40 kilometres, so it's 5 kilometres more than halfway. And I just had this feeling that I kept getting watched when I was cycling along this road, and not from the coast side, but from the opposite side. Now, I don't know if this will translate to the camera, but there was a lot of deer up there in the hills, and I could hear cracking of trees and branches and things and weird noises. I haven't seen any come down as far as the road because that is quite steep. There is quite a lot of deer up there, and there's a reason for that. I'm just coming up to the village of Catacol, so I'll give you a little history lesson when we get there. Now that in the distance is the village of Catacol, and that's where I'm headed to next. Now this is when you know you're starting to get into the Highlands of Scotland. Just look at that. It's absolutely magnificent. Albeit it's a bit murky and misty, but it's just absolutely fantastic. The village of Catacol. Could we really call it a village? I'd say maybe more of a hamlet. Anyway, I'm going to take a little stop, rest the legs. I've done 44 kilometres now, so I'm just going to fuel up a little bit of something to quickly eat, and then we'll move on. Now behind me here are 12 quaint little cottages in a row, and they're known as the 12 Apostles. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about them, and I'm pretty sure if anybody local to Arran will shoot me down in the comments below and say that this isn't true. Anyway, here goes. The 12 Apostles are a row of cottages that were built in the 1860s, and they were built to house farmers, to get them off the land and clear them behind the hills there. And the reason being was there was a lot of deer, and there was a lot of deer hunting going on. And that's why I was saying when I was coming round the corner I felt as if I was getting watched, because I could see all the deer up in the hills. Now, they were known as Hungry Row for the first 2 years because nobody lived in them, but once people moved into them, they were hoping that the farmers were going to turn to fishermen, and fishermen they did turn into. And when you look out across the bay here, this is where they fished. And the reason that the cottages are called the 12 Apostles is because in each of the windows are slightly different if you look at each of them. And the wives of the fishermen would put candles in the window to signal to their husbands out in the bay and who was calling them. Now I'm led to believe it was to let them know that their dinner was ready, but I don't know if that's a true fact or not. So if you want to correct me, just let me know in the comments below. But they're absolutely cracking little cottages. And it's unbelievable that they're nearly 200 years old. They must get some weather coming off of this bay in the winter months. And just before the chimp leaves, I just found an old telephone box. So I put a couple of stickers in there that if you're ever in Catacol and you're passing, you'll be able to pick them up. Unbelievable. It's actually a fully functional phone box. I don't remember the last time I seen one of them. Anyway, let's get clipped in and get to Loch Ranza and then get prepped for this hill. Now maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the Loch Ranza to Cloneg ferry, because yep, I'm practically on Loch Ranza. So you don't need to correct me there. That is the ferry from Loch Ranza to Cloneg, obviously coming back from Cloneg. And that's the ferry you use when you're doing the 5 ferries challenge. Now I'm hoping I can get a few people together and we can challenge that as one in the coming months of 2025. I know there's 1 or 2 keen people that have already spoke to me about it. It's definitely a video to look out for because I do plan to do it. I also plan to do the 3 ferries, which I'm led to believe is actually slightly harder. But we just need to wait and see what the challenges are like. Anyway, I'm coming up to Loch Ranza. I'll have a quick stop again, a little water stop, if you know what I mean. We'll have a little look round about Loch Ranza before tackling this hill, and I think I'm going to fail with this one, but we're just going to have to wait and find out. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the village of Loch Ranza. And one of the things I've noticed, the first thing that I come in is there's a bike station. And also the sandwich station. Now the sandwich station was highly recommended when I was out at the local club the other week there. Unfortunately it's closed for the season, but it will be opening pretty soon. So I've got a funny feeling I'll be coming back here. There is also toilets in Loch Ranza as well, if you're needing to make a pit stop, and that was a pit stop I said. So behind me here is Loch Ranza Castle, and this is another tourist attraction on the island that quite a lot of people come and see. It's not that far away from the Loch Ranza ferry terminal, and it's also just as you come off the road if you're coming from Brodick as well. But I've got a bit of pop culture trivia for you. This castle was an inspiration for a certain other adventurer. Now, a lot of you people will probably know who I'm talking about in a little second, but it was featured in a 1938, I think it was, comic book. Other comics that have been brought out, different editions, and there's also the cartoon. But this was the castle that inspired Hergé's The Adventures of Tintin and the Black Island, which was Tintin's only Scottish adventure. Now it's quite apt that this is featuring in this video because if you guys have read that story or seen the cartoon, you'll know what type of monster was inside there. And I'm pretty sure little Matteo there would be able to tell you as well. It was, of course, a giant ape. But to let you know a little bit more about the castle and its history and that, there's a plaque outside it. They've got an image of this castle drawn from the northeast as it may have looked like in the 1200s. And then obviously, years later, they added the tower house to it as well. And it does say that down there, the tower house in the 1450s, the king granted Loch Ranza to the Montgomerys and they held the castle for the next 250 years. It's just absolutely amazing. There we've seen a row of cottages that's over 200 years old and a castle that's still standing over 600 years old. It's just absolutely crazy how these things still stand. I mean, you look at how they build things today, they're not built to last. That certainly was. But looking across at the village of Loch Ranza as well, from the castle, To me, it's very reminiscent of the Goondocks in the 1980s film The Goonies. But anyway, enough of this. I need to prepare myself for this last hill. We're going to be heading that way and basically in between those two peaks. So once again, let's clip in and do this. Now that's us just about to start this last climb. It's 3.8 kilometres with an ascent of 187 metres, which doesn't sound that much, but there is really hard bits in place. But before I hit it, I didn't even know this was here. We have the Lochranza distillery. I maybe should have popped in there to see if they'd any fire water to get me over this. 14 miles. Let's do this. Ooh. Well, the beginning of it's not too bad. Flatten out in a little easy bit for a wee while. Then, yeah, so it goes red towards the end again. I'm just hoping the descent is going to be amazing. I just keep trying to tell myself it's not as brutal as the Black Loch Hill down in Galloway Forest. There's no way it's as hard as that. Nearly at the top. I'm absolutely cooking. I've still got 315 metres to go, but I'm pretty much at the top of it because I can see it's flat the rest of it. I'm slightly out of breath, but I couldn't have got up that in a road bike. Well, I couldn't have got up in my road bike. I just love the GRX gearing on these gravel bikes. They help out so much. Now on a clear day, that would be looking absolutely spectacular. Not that it isn't spectacular. Oh my God. 20 minutes and 20 seconds, 3.8 kilometres, 187 metres of elevation with an average of a 5% grade. Remember, that's an average of a 5%. There was a lot of different percentages flung in there. Oh, what an achievement. I generally thought I was going to struggle with that one today. But once again, as I said earlier on, what goes up must come down. I'm hoping this descent is going to be absolutely gorgeous. If anything, it'll cool me down a bit with the breeze. Now, it doesn't translate very well in the camera, but seeing these hills, even from the Isle of Bute, are absolutely stunning. But seeing you're cycling underneath them, oh my God, they are just absolutely fantastic. They're just jaw-dropping at the size. And this descent, ooh, I'm going to make a name for myself. Oh my word, the speed coming down that hill was absolutely lethal. Whew. Just absolute pure adrenaline. What a descent. I can't wait to check my Strava out to see how fast I was getting down that. What a ride this has been today. Honestly, it's been something else. Now today's ride was only really dipping my toe on the Isle of Arran. I'm definitely going to come back because I want to do the south of the island. I want to do the full island, but there's also some gravel tracks that a lot of people have been talking about recently, and I want to try them out too. So 100% I'll be coming back. Now you guys are not going to believe this, and I don't know if you'll see this, there's a submarine out in the Firth of Clyde. It must be heading back to fast. Oh my God, I never even noticed it because of the clouds. We've got Goat Fell right beside us. I just wish it was clear for you guys to see it, but there will always be a next time. Here comes another descent, so I'm going to pack these away and I'll see you down in Brodick. Well, that's us got to the end of yet another video and another ride. I really hope you stuck around to the end and you enjoyed it half as much as I did. I thought it was an absolute great ride today. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and if you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing, because your subscribing keeps the chimp rolling and riding. Hope to see you on the next one. In the meantime, you can check out my last video up there, or you can check out previously on That Cycling Chimp, which are archive videos and adventures. Until the next time, guys, bye for now, and remember to pedal smart out there.